That's the work of Satan, right, guys?
I'm a little wounded but not slain. I'll lay down and bleed a while, and we'll rise and fight again.
I'm Ralph!
Yes, if you're quoting Scottish sailors, you just got beat by the devil. And I don't want to brag, but I'm pretty sure I was the first person to call the Chiefs devil worshippers. Where's my credit, NFL? Chiefs clinch the AFC West. The Bills fall to the Rams in a wild shootout. The Bears play one of the worst halves of football ever. Aaron Rodgers has been eliminated. Vikings fans will never forget Kurt. Bart defeated Homer in the savage ballet that is football, and the Seahawks and Steelers control their own destiny. Before I, Brandon Perna, sports pervert, deliver the real winners and losers for NFL Week 14, we have the Blop 10 plays. 10 plays so disturbing, not even Nick Cage will portray them in a film. Don't forget to subscribe here. We're at 668,000 subs, and the goal is to get to 700K by the end of the football season, and I'm gonna need your help. Blop 10, the blessed fan who paid to have this banner flown around Giant Stadium. Mr. Mara, enough, please fix this dumpster fire. Finally, we found a worse banner than Colts 2014 AFC finalists. Also, a tough break for anyone who thought they were about to be proposed to. Blop 9, Matt LaFleur told a fan to fuck off before the national anthem. Well, there we have it, the largest controversy in NFL history involving the American flag or the national anthem. Blop 8, the Vikings running an elaborate flea flicker to set up a screen that loses a few yards. Here's a tip. You probably don't need to trick the Falcons defense. Blop 7, Timothy Chalamet might be a secret college football expert.
Scatterboo little 3 to 5 yard runs, needs to be efficient, set that offense going. I don't think they've won a conference championship outright ever. I'm pulling for Arizona State today.
He was the only one on College Game Day to correctly pick Ohio over Miami in the MAC championship.
I'm going underdog Bobcats here.
Yes,
underdog
okay.
Bobcats.
Chalamet knowing ball is legitimately a bigger plot twist than anything in Dune. I'm a little disappointed though he didn't say,
"Call me by your name and I'll call you by mine."
Underdog Bobcats.
Blop 6, Mac Jones outdoing Will Levis for our Will Levis Play of the Week. It shows that Will Levis is not just a quarterback, he's a hilarious virus that spreads to everyone in his wake. If COVID had a sense of humor, it would be Will Levis. Blop 5, you should never tug on Superman's cape, but it's definitely okay to pull a quarterback's undershirt. Have we ever found out why football players wear the stretchiest fabric of all time? I think Earl Campbell actually had the right idea. Tearaway clothes. Blop 4, the most confusing game day fit of the day. This would be a lot less confusing if the number was 3.5 instead of 9. It would be far less confusing if this guy didn't have a fucking Vikings hat on. Blop 3, when your no-look pitch is too good. Turns out at least one person has to be looking for that to work. Let's see you do that, Timothy Chalamet. Okay. Blop 2, the Chiefs, and only the Chiefs, can doink a game-winning field goal through the uprights. The Bears had the double doink with Matt Nagy. The Chiefs have the devil doink with Matt Nagy. Chiefs doink, they win. Cardinals doink, they lose. Chiefs doink, they win. They win, they win. And the Chiefs are now the only team to have 3 different kickers kick game winners in the same season. And Blop 1, D. Alford, not just getting beat, but falling on his face after tracking this ball to the wrong shoulder. D. Alford became the first player in NFL history to be asked to perform a breathalyzer mid-game. Today's episode is sponsored by Bear Mattress. If you're like me and your football team is suddenly exciting, it might be hard to fall asleep at night. Football adrenaline is real, so I suggest a great mattress to help you decompress and fall into a slumber. I've slept great on my elite hybrid Bear mattress since the day it arrived on my doorstep. My daughter has grown significantly since the first time I made a video for Bear. In fact, when she grew out of her convertible crib bed, we elected to get her a trundle and add 2 more Bear mattresses to the house. Sleep is right there with diet and exercise as the most important thing you can do for your health. You don't want to buy a mattress that doesn't fit your body or sleep style. 2 reasons I love Bear. Well, 1, they give you a 120-night sleep trial. That's basically 4 months, which is long enough to sleep in every position and after every type of meal and through every type of stress life throws at you. The other thing I love, to help you narrow down your choice, Bear offers a sleep quiz that you can take on their website to help determine the style of mattress that is best for you. You can test your mattress risk-free, and it comes with a lifetime guarantee, and the sleep quiz helps you determine the mattress that is best for you. As a side sleeper, I landed on the Elite Hybrid. And despite my efforts, Bear legally cannot call it the Flacco Hybrid, but I've sent numerous letters. If you're looking to improve your sleep quality or upgrade your mattress, use my discount to save yourself the most money this December with their sales that they've extended going on through the end of the year. They have pillow top mattresses, memory foam, and bed bases. All Bear mattresses are fiberglass free, Green Guard certified, and don't contain any grizzly, black, panda, koala, or polar bears, meaning they're not made with BS materials, okay? Take advantage of my discount running for a limited time with my link, bearmattress.com/that'sgood, to get 35% off your Bear mattress. Again, for a limited time during their extended Cyber Week sale. Blob 0, quarterbacks falling down this week.
Yeah, real athletic to fall down on a routine handoff, but yeah, I'm glad we made it happen.
Both Aiden O'Connell and Bryce Young had their foot stepped on at the goal line after coming under center. Jared Goff was also tripped by his own linemen. And the amount of NFL fans who thought that Goff should be ruled down is it's alarming. Aiden O'Connell actually threw the ball whilst falling to his ass, drawing a pass interference call on the Bucs. Bryce Young did not tremble after getting stepped on and instead threw a touchdown to one. And on 4th and short, Jared Goff with his kneel down handoff, or as I call it, the multitasking Kaepernick, put Detroit in position to win the game on that big balls call of the week. Call of the year by Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell and the Lions became the first team to go for it on 4th and 1 in field goal range with less than a minute on the clock in a tie game, probably fucking ever. Dan Campbell's so aggressive that if he were in prison, he'd be the shot caller for both the white and black gangs.
There you go, Skip. Keep throwing up, whatever you're doing over there.
My winning streak? It's going to the Lions with their win on Thursday. Detroit won 11 games in a row for the first time in team history. They locked in a playoff spot, which is the first time they will be heading to the postseason in back-to-back years since 1995. And this was really one of the best Thursday night games of the season, despite the Detroit Lions defensive front having to play plumbers, electricians, and gym teachers they signed off the street, earning our winning guys we've never fucking heard of honors. The one guy I did know, Ali McNeil, he went down in that game with an injury as well. Now the Packers lost despite 3 rushing touchdowns from Josh Jacobs, but I'll hit Jordan Love with our only Mahomes throw of the week. Oh God, it's pretty, which is fitting because Packers fans sounded like they were playing against the Chiefs the way they were complaining about the officiating after this game. And since the refs helped the team that I wanted to win, I have no complaints. My hypocrisy knows no bounds. It really doesn't. Winning Freaky Friday, Lions and Packers fans swapping spots in the NFC North pecking order. Packers fans are now making excuses for losses, and Lions fans are on the internet talking too much shit. Maybe the world is healing. Or maybe this is the beginning of the end. And in stats we really don't need to track, Jared Goff became the first QB in NFL history to complete passes to 6+ different receivers, with each one of them having 5 catches or more. No need to beat Goff, though, when your balls are being touched by that many people. That's satisfying enough. Winning former Broncos balling All of them, starting with Tim Patrick, who caught his first and second touchdown for the first time since 2021. Patrick suffered season-ending injuries in training camp in 2022 and 2023, so watching him make plays for the Lions does fill me with joy, even if we could use him here in Denver. But he's not the only one spreading his wings in other places. Now, the Broncos had to move on from Patrick, but they also had to move on from Russell Wilson and Jerry Jeudy. Well, they had to move on from Jerry Jeudy because they moved on from Russell Wilson. Anyway, all of those guys had a nice week. Jerry Jeudy followed his insane Monday night performance with another touchdown, albeit in a losing game against the Steelers, whose defense forced 3 turnovers and kicked back, while Russ went for a $158 and 2 passing touchdowns. I've got nothing against any of those guys, and I'm rooting for all of them, but I'm kind of wondering if Bo Nix might have been a little better with Jerry Jeudy in our offense. Here's a new segment, though. Who caught it? This might be the most simultaneous catch I have ever seen in a game. Drake London was given the reception, but if the NFL can implement some type of jump ball scenario, this would be why. My winning quarterback, slamming Sammy Darnold, made himself a lot of money this season, and he might have added another, mil to it today with his performance against the Falcons. Sam Darnold has officially gone from seeing ghosts to getting defenders to see ghosts. He's the first Vikings quarterback with 5 touchdowns in a game since Dante Culpepper in 2004. He also found a way to make both of his top receivers very happy. Justin Jefferson had gone 6 games without a touchdown, and he got to do the gritty twice in the end zone. Well, I actually think he just did a one pump to the air. While Jordan Addison did even better, scoring on 3 combined for the 2 of those guys. 15 receptions, 265 yards, 5 touchdowns. Not bad. And they're not even my best duo this week. That's crazy. Sammy Darnold has 11 touchdowns and 0 picks in his last 4 games. That's genuinely MVP caliber material this year for a team that's now 11-2 and sticking in the race with the Detroit Lions. And while I'm not rooting against Detroit, come on, wouldn't a Sam Darnold MVP be fun? Wouldn't it be fun? Come on, guys, give Gekbus a fucking MVP. Losing quarterback? I think it's only fair if Darnold gets the winning QB. His counterpart is the losing quarterback. Kirk Cousins had such a great chance to end his woeful month and snatch the revenge dagger in his return to Minnesota. But after a good start to the game, he just kind of petered out. Cousins did throw for 344 yards, his best yardage number since going for 500, but he did throw 2 interceptions, and he finished his 4th straight game without throwing a touchdown pass. He's turning into the Kyle Pitts of quarterbacks, guys. Completely allergic to the end zone. Since November 10th, he has 0 TDs and 8 picks. At this point, with the 6-7 record and still in a winnable division, we might have to wonder if #RiseUp is going to start Michael Penix. That's right, we might be seeing Penix rise up. Kirk, meanwhile, was booed at Minnesota, and the game ended with the Vikings feeling like they definitely made the right pick at quarterback.
I got 3 words for you. You like that? Yeah!
With Cousins sucking, no familicide was committed this week, so there will be no revenge dagger.
His return to Minneapolis, coming off probably the worst 3-game stretch of his career.
My winning thespian, and I guarantee you this guy does not even know what that word means, which is ironic for a man they call famous Jameis.
Throw your arms up right here. Ready? Oh!
Sorry, Josh, you don't get the Oscar. You're on that DiCaprio trajectory. Winston drew a foul on this flop, but it wasn't enough to win. Doesn't help when Dustin Hopkins is out there missing more kicks, 2 in this game, and 7 missed kicks since November 3rd. And also, Kadarius Toney is reminding the Browns why he wasn't allowed to stay on the Chiefs roster. Jameis also managed to throw a pick on a screen, and the Browns have been eliminated from the playoffs.
Playoffs?
Losing teams? Giants and Saints. Can 2 teams lose the same game? Yes, they can. Now, the Saints lost Taysom Hill to injury last week. Now they'll be without Derek Carr, who got a concussion and a hand injury while diving for a first down. Nothing good has ever happened for Derek Carr when he's diving for a line to gain. When will he learn? The Giants lost, but that's all part of their plan. Drew Lock started the game 0-8 on passing attempts. Really, though, this game culminated in the dumbest ending of the week. Drew Lock threw a pick to seal the game, but Demario Davis blops to the ground instead of possibly housing it. With a minute 40 left, Jake Haener then takes an atrocious sack and the Giants drive down with the chance to tie it up. What happened next? Another blocked field goal to end a game. Is that the fourth one this season? I hate blocked field goals, but I love Brian Brees, who makes the just the tip play of the week, legally jumping over the line and blocking the thing. A blocked punt ended up being the difference in the Bills-Rams shootout. 86 points in this winning cocaine adrenaline ride. Ultimately, though, it was the Bills who were 86th. Winning wide receiver duo? It's going to the dynamic duo of Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua for the Rams, who haven't really gotten to play together a ton the last 2 seasons. But we got a glimpse of how good they can be side by side against the Bills. Unfortunately for Buffalo, Josh Allen channeled his inner Joe Burrow to earn the pinnacle of the Joe Burrow Award, given to the man who, no matter what he does, his team fucking loses. Congrats for becoming the first guy ever with 3 rushing touchdowns and 3 passing touchdowns and still losing a game. The first loss by a quarterback with 6 total touchdowns and 0 turnovers. This might be the greatest performance in a loss ever. Josh Allen also set a fantasy football record for QBs with 52 points, but as we know, that shit is for nerds and losers. God, I gotta check my fantasy record, don't I? Josh accounted for 424 yards of the Bills' offense and fired a consensus FDR to Mac Hollins for a touchdown, and Khalil Shakir had a long catch and run TD, plus a great grab that landed him at the 1-yard line. You might look at the 449 yards of offense the Rams produced and think the Bills' defense was ass, and while it was not great, maybe a turd of a game, 2 defenses, 1 Kupp. The story was Kupp and Nacua willing the ball into their hands, bodies, and souls. It felt like they combined for 3 or 4 huge catches that were very well covered and were a bigger testament to their top flight skills versus the Bills going full D. Alford in their coverage. They each caught a touchdown. Nacua rushed for a touchdown and finished with 162 receiving yards. They combined for 254 of Matty Stafford's 320. Now, I'm not saying this was the reason the Bills lost. In fact, if this penalty was enforced, I'm sure Puka Nacua would have scored while the refs were telling us what the penalty was. But my fuck the refs play of the week was the refs missing a false start on 4th down less than a week after it happened on Monday Night Football. And this very well could have changed the outcome of the game. How is the easiest call in the game not the easiest call in the game? I don't know, but you can file your complaints at Benchwarmer Shop by getting the Fuck the Refs coffee. Why did this game have 12 touchdowns and 53 first downs? Unique defenses. No sacks in the game. Completely sackless.
Any fool with a bit of luck can find himself born into power.
The bedshitters, the Jaguars, who have taken themselves out of having the number 1 pick in the draft. Sure, they would have just drafted the consensus 6th best and most raw player at their greatest position of need, but you could have dealt the 1st overall pick to the most quarterback desperate team in the league for a haul. Oh well, this may have quite literally been the worst game of the year. Credit Mac Jones for winning this game while throwing 2 more interceptions than Will Levis, who had none. He also had none passing TDs and missed big on 4th and goal. Mac Jones did the least I've ever seen a quarterback have to do to get a win, and honestly, I'm a little jealous. Basically, he completed 2 passes to Brian Thomas and handed it off to Tank Bigsby for the win. Wasted season? Poor Brock Bowers. Bowers now has the most receptions for a rookie tight end at 87, and he has 4 games left. If only he wasn't doing this for the worst team in the league, people might actually care. I mean, this is a team who deployed quite possibly the worst coaches challenge of the year, a team that immediately wastes great individual plays by their defense. Aiden O'Connell injured on a play that should have drawn a flag but didn't, and the Raiders are no longer just leaving the door open for Shedeur Sanders in Vegas. Mark Davis gave him the keys, the master suite, and is promising to clean his bathroom every week. Oh God, now I'm just thinking, of everyone who has to clean Mark Davis's personal bathroom at P.F. Chang's.
He absolutely is dialed in at P.F. Chang's.
Losing souls? Anyone trying to catch passes in the Chiefs-Chargers game. Quentin Johnston was blasted on the opening drive and held onto the ball. They will try and erase that play from the history books, but kids, he caught that shit. Johnston also took a shot on his touchdown grab in the end zone, and even Nuke got fucking nuked at the 2-yard line by Cam Heartstopper. That play saved a touchdown, and I was grateful watching two division opponents beat the piss out of each other. Mahomes took close to a dozen hits as well, and ultimately the Chiefs' victory helped the Broncos' playoff paths. Probably the last nice thing Kansas City will do for the Broncos. My losing throw, though? Justin Herbert, fully bloated, who missed a wide-open Josh Palmer, which, I don't know, could have helped in a 2-point loss. Losing the title of bust? Bryce Young. Officially, not busty. Panthers flat-chested QB Bryce Young, for the second time in 2 weeks, played well enough to lead his team to victory. The problem? That team is the Carolina Panthers, and they find ways to not win. For the second week in a row, Young led a potential game-winning drive, this time from the 2-yard line, with an elite play extension, another clutch 4th down conversion to Adam Thielen, but this dot to Xavier Leggett slipped through the rookie wideout's hands and sealed the 9th straight win for the Eagles. Maybe Leggett was still thinking about that lick C.J. Gardner-Johnson put on him in the first quarter. I know I would be. Never let a Gardner lick you. It will linger in your brain. The good news is that the Panthers are kind of getting the best of both worlds here, right? Young is starting to round into the player they thought they were getting, all while they're still going to get a pretty decent draft pick. They're in a much better place than a month ago. Young was in contention for the Only Mahomes Award, by the way, but only Mahomes would have gotten a penalty or a doink at the end of this game. Losing opportunity, Saquon Barkley finally gets a carry at the 1-yard line, and he can't get in. But the tush-push does on the next play. Jalen Hurts has as many rushing touchdowns as Derrick Henry this season, while Barkley is still on pace to break Eric Dickerson's rushing record for most rushing yards in a season. Hurts had 3 total touchdowns, including a passing TD to Calcaterra. I thought Calcaterra was an island in the Mediterranean. Turns out he's a tight end catching touchdowns for the Eagles. This is his 3rd NFL season, actually, and I support his efforts to bring back the undercut. The most popular haircut when I was 13. Winning game manager, Geno Smith played a nice, perfectly unspectacular game on the road in Arizona, and it was exactly what his team needed from him. While Kyler Murray threw a pair of interceptions, Geno kept the ball out of harm's way, failed to take a sack while connecting with the red-hot JSN for a touchdown. His best work, though, was getting the ball to Zach Charbonnet. Winning MILF wine? Zach Charbonnet, the world's best-selling wine for women who fantasize about being with anyone but their husband. While Kenneth Walker was out, Zach Charbonnet stepped in and added 193 yards of total offense, scoring a pair of TDs on the ground. The Seahawks are a game ahead of the Rams in the West. And married ladies, do not forget to pour yourself a chilled glass of Zach Charbonnet tonight. Speaking of exciting whites, did a white corner get an interception this week? Negative, but white chicks got a celebration. I'm more surprised anyone actually remembers that movie, honestly. The Vikings have also done a Parent Trap celebration this season, which leads me to believe their next one will be Mean Girls.
You can't sit with us!
Winning running back? Well, let's give some love to the 17th string running back for the San Francisco 49ers. Isaac Guerrero stepped in and added 78 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground, grabbing another pair of balls for 50 yards as well. And in true 49ers fashion, he left this game with an ankle injury. If you went into this season and told me that a 24-year-old rookie named Isaac Guerrero was going to have more rushing yards than Christian McCaffrey, I would have totally believed you, because it would just mean McCaffrey got hurt and Kyle Shanahan found the 800 running back to plug into his father's offense. Losing half? The Bears. The Bears in the first half of the 49ers game. This was the dingleberry on top of the shit Sunday that's been the 2024 season for the Bears. In their first game without head coach Matt Eberflus, the Bears went into halftime against the 49ers trailing 24-0. That score doesn't even come close, though, to indicating how atrocious the Bears were in the first 30 minutes. They played one of the worst first halves of football I've ever seen. But it goes from bad to embarrassing when you see that Chicago produced 4 total yards of offense to the Niners' 319. Caleb Williams did manage 27 passing yards in the first half, but due to the 4 sacks he took, netted -3 passing yards. The Bears were averaging 0.2 yards per play to the Niners' 8.6. And the 49ers sack leader? My winning defender, Yetur Gross-Matos, who had 3 sacks in this game, which led all defensive players in the league. Those 4 yards of total offense were the fewest in any first half since the year 2000. And my winning hot ass, George Kittle. The tight end had 156 receiving yards in the Niners win. Losing stat, the New York Jets fell to 3-10 in OT at Miami, knocking them out of the playoffs for what is now the 14th straight year, the longest drought in all of North American sports. Aaron Rodgers was even pretty damn good in this game, throwing for 300 plus yards for the first time since the Stone Age. The throw he probably wants back, though, is this one to Garrett Wilson, who did an incredible job dancing with the sideline to keep his feet in. But he was wide open, and Rodgers threw it too far to the side. The Finns tied the game with 7 seconds, thanks to a 52-yard boot from Jason Sanders. But Rodgers never got to touch the ball in overtime, proving the amount of sage used here was the wrong dose. And the Jets' playoff hopes that were oh so bright at the beginning of the year finally ended with a 10-yard TD pass to my winning finisher, Jonnu Smith. All 3 of his receptions came in OT. Another losing stat, Jets head coach Jeff Ulbrich not having the same big, bulky balls as Dan Campbell. Maybe the crazy guy isn't so crazy. Winners, the NFL and the Simpsons. The game was simulcast on Disney Plus as a Simpsons animated game like they did last year with Toy Story.
Touch diddly down!
And as a longtime Simpsons fan, I fucking loved it. You get jokes for the adults. My 4-year-old was actually interested in it, and we got next-gen Simpsons stats and video highlights on Twitter.
Mo Sislak, Shelbyville Dog Training Academy.
Winning defender was actually Mo Sislak. All those years of tossing drunks from the bar paid off. Winning tightrope walker Chase Brown, who still isn't as fast as Kevontae Turpin, but is pretty damn quick. They tried to say this wasn't a touchdown, and even the LASIK Twitter account was dogging the refs with Simpson posts about it. Losers, NFL quarterbacks who didn't get the memo this season that face masks are now legal. They are legal. But seriously, is the NFL playing a joke on us? This was not called. These are still penalties, right, NFL? Now the Cowboys went for it on 4th and 2 on their first drive, scored a touchdown to CeeDee Lamb, which was like their first quarter touchdown of the season or something. The Bengals finally learned how to score more points than their opponents, though. And of all the weird blocked kicks and shit we've seen this season, we might have an all-timer. Losing block? The Cowboys, who blocked a punt with 2 minutes left in the game, which should have set up a game-winning score for the Cowboys, but Dallas touched the block kick and didn't recover, giving the ball back to Cincinnati. Oh, an all-time blunder for the Cowboys special teams. And on his 14th reception of the evening, your winning individual performer, Jamar Chase, housed it for a second touchdown on the night, putting his total at 177 receiving yards. Burrow threw for 369. Nice. Plus 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. And finally, his elite stats came with a W. Yes, the Bengals won because they had their own punt blocked. Just like Springfield eventually won after Mr. Burns tried to block out the sun. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Again, we're trying to get to 700,000 subs by the end of the season.